Hello guys, and welcome to a new Wargame Red Dragon video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 4 versus 4 on Cold War Z. And today I'm going to be playing with the Scandinavian 1985 deck. So similar to the last game, everybody in the game is playing a 1985 deck. This was played on the same day as the last one. So yeah, Scandinavian 1985 it is. And I do really like the 1985 era. It removes prototype units from pretty much every nation. And what that means is a lot of the more OP decks like Entente and also like Israel, they get a bit better balanced overall compared to the rest of the decks. So you generally see more of a variance of decks in these kinds of games. I am playing more or less in-house games with people from the stream, so that helps as well. But in general, I've really enjoyed playing with the 1985 era, and this game was no different. So today on my team, I'm going to be joined by Genjeff, Sturmsource, and Itaidek, and on the opposing team we have Sathor, Stashman, Musial, and Jumpy Boy. So my start is a pretty simple one in this one. I've got some of these LVKV FM43s hanging about. These are twin auto cannon units that can harass enemy helicopters. They're basically there to protect the spawn. Then I've got a Lynx with a leader and an AS350. And you're probably wondering, where are the rest of your troops, Vulcan? What are you doing? Well, the plan with this map was to go and capture Gulf. There's two weaknesses, however, with the Scandinavian 1985. One is that you lack units with serious AP power, so your tanks are pretty naff, and the HGMs that do have good AP power are pretty short range. And then the other weakness is that you don't really have any helicopters, other than like a little bird with a tow system on it. That's pretty much it. So basically, I'm going to be pushing up to Gulf with the Lynx and the AS350 and hoping that there's no enemy helicopters that will come in and spoil my day. Because the entire strategy that I had going into this was to capture Gulf and then reinforce from this land spawn with all of the rest of my units so that I could get them to that side of the map really quickly. That was the plan. So off I go. I've even got my LVKV to just kind of like moving across to cover Sturmsource's LAV as he moves into hotel. But this AH350, I find this really cool helicopter. It always reminds me of a news helicopter. The Lynx AH7 also looks really cool in the Scandinavian deck. It's got that like nice blue paint job. Also has an MG3, which I think is better than the British counterpart. It has way more DPS on that gun. So against enemy infantry that can't really fire back very well, the Lynx does pretty well. SU-24 going to be coming in early on. That is going to get fired at by the Tomcat. Drops its flares, is going to get out today. Tomcat not able to get the kill. Misses its Phoenix radar missiles. That's going to have to evac. I also brought in some Viggens. These are really awesome Swedish aircraft. 4 infrared missiles, 2 SEMAC radar missiles. We'll see more of them throughout this game. The AS350 continuing on forwards. My leader does manage to get down in time. The Lynx here, just chilling with them for the time being, looks really cool. Just landed on the side of the mountain there. But in the background you can see that I am pulling in a bunch of units right now. And the idea was that I'd bring in everything I could and everything I needed, and then I would move the leader afterwards into better cover, because at the moment it's kind of just sitting on the edge there. I'm also going to be moving the Lynx away because that does give away the position of your leader. So if you ever bring in a infantry leader in a vehicle, move the vehicle away from the leader after you unload it. That's a really good tip for newer players. I've got these XA 180s in here. Those have Fallschirmjäger, I've also brought in IKV-91s. These are a reasonably good armoured cars. Su-22 is going to come in. That's actually going to hit my Veeks. Now, Veeks are only 40-point radar units, so kind of baited the anti-radar units out of that Su-24, and I managed to shoot it down as well, which was really nice. Vigans are going to come across here. They're going to take out another Su-24, so brilliant job by them. Lovely barrel roll done there by the rear Vigan in its victory. Awesome stuff. So my M8 Panzerbills, these are literally M8 Greyhounds. They are going to be pushing over the top of the ridge there with the XA-180s to follow and the SDRV-103Bs. But I kind of underestimated how quickly my opponent would get here coming up this road. So he's got some of these flat MGs coming in. These are basically quad AA units. And there's also all of these units coming up the road. The T-72s. There's also the SL-10M there. There's a bunch of infantry in half-tracks. Not half-tracks, in armoured cars. And all sorts. Actually, I think there might be... No, these are all just... Oh, these are half... Nope, they're not half-tracks either. They're all wheeled transports or just fully tracked armoured vehicles. Either way, there's a lot of stuff coming, and my Fallschirmjäger just got absolutely annihilated. So, now it's up to the SDRV-103Bs to hold the line alongside the IKV-91s. Now, the SDRV-103Bs are actually pretty good in this scenario because they have fantastic rate of fire, 15 round per minute rate of fire, makes them a really strong medium tank. The IKV-91 has reasonable penetration. It's just there as like extra support. They're only 25 points. So they're great for picking off transport vehicles. So here we go. The big old engagement. But I see this coming. And I've got a fighting Falcon. Now this bad boy has two 1,000 kilogram bombs. Not only does he look awesome, he's also going to drop those bombs upside down. A good old barrel roll for us. And kapow. Goodbye to all of those units. It was a beautiful strike. MiG-21 comes over for the cluster strike. Doesn't manage to get off the cluster munitions. Gets shot down by the Veeks and the Ihawks. And the SDRV-103Bs here are just now going to clean up the rest of these units, the T-72s that were left over. Just look at how much stuff died on this ridge. It was insane. Another MiG comes over with the Sacklaws missiles, but the way that my SDRVs were like on this reverse camber basically meant that the MiG couldn't get line of sight properly for those missiles to hit the mark. So I'm able to just shoot it down. KHS-MI-8TB is hanging around near my spawn, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to deal with that eventually. But yeah. A crazy initial engagement here. So many units got killed. T-72s, T-34s, ZSUs, all of the infantry and the transports. Just that one fighting Falcon with the two 1,000 kilogram bombs that hit so perfectly. And now I'm going to be trying to move up some infantry onto the ridge so that I can maybe make a little bit of a push here. But waiting for my HKP to get some ammunition for the Ihawks before I move forwards again, since we've come under attack from quite a lot of aircraft so far. I did manage to take down the Mi-8 at the spawn. Unfortunately, it did kill... Actually, I'm not sure if it killed my units. I think the XAs managed to get underneath it and shoot it down. But either way, after that initial engagement... I'm kind of, just taking a little bit of a chill pill and waiting for myself to recover a few more units before pushing back. Ultimately, I might have been able to just push through at this point, get my Stormers and just keep running forwards until I kind of bumped into enemy contact. But with the Mi-24D here now, that would definitely not be a good idea. The Stormers would get annihilated by an Mi-24. Good old Hind would just annihilate that. But I think... basically, Stashman's brought that in as a temporary measure to kind of counteract anything that might counter-push. But pushing through this road is going to be a nightmare now anyway because of the amount of stuff that's dead on it. You're going to have to like somehow navigate my way around all these wrecks with my tanks in order to make any ground. Yeah, I also wanted to repair the IKVs and the SDRVs before I move forwards, because as you can see, the IKVs were in a bit of a bad spot there. Two of them only have 1 health left. And ZSD is going to come over. They're going to get hit by the Stormers. The Carl Gustav has a pretty nice rate of fire, I think, on that launcher, 10 round per minute rate of fire. So able to knock out those APCs. I think 20 round per minute rate of fire, though, is better. I think you can get some launchers with 20 round per minute rate of fire, if I remember correctly. That's dropped off a few infrared AA units, so I'm going to be chasing them down with a Stormer. Stashman was trying to be cheeky here, move round a leader on the side. My XA-180 was trying to chase that down, but with the helicopters coming in there, I'm going to be forced to buy in some extra AA. And Jinjeft decided to bring in the AH-1F Cobra and a Kiowa to help me out, just to get some recon here so that my spawn doesn't get cut off, because it's pretty important that I hold on to the spawn at this point. I've also got this Marinejäger moving through. These are cool units. They've got a really awesome model with like the camo there. Just trying to keep them in dense cover so they don't get killed by these helicopters that are coming over the top. Do manage to take out one of them with the Veek. The AH-1F Cobra, though, dies to the Mi-24D. The Veek's going to have to be ready to take down that one as well. I do have the Ihawks here with the missiles if I need them, but it's going to be quite unlikely that I'm going to use them to shoot down helicopters. The Ihawks are almost primarily there to take out enemy aircraft, and having already shot down at least one of the seed aircraft from Stashman, it's going to make things a lot easier for me to just keep them online at this point. Viggen's coming over. These do have infrared missiles, so I am able to use these to shoot down helicopters if I want to. We're going to see the B5 and SU-27 back here. I'm going to pull my Viggens away temporarily. Got to be a bit careful of the FJB. They do have infrared missiles. Here goes the Viggen. First one misses. I think the second one missed as well, maybe. But managed to get the job done there. Now going to be trying to pull away from that. Viggen does go down to the AA. That's a sad loss for me. So I'm still managing to pop things as they come over the ridge. And these XAs, they're now going to be zooming towards Bravo to see if I can find that. The LVKV is going to be trying to take care of the FJB. AH-1E Cobra does manage to find the leader and take that out, so no more threat to decapping Gulf. But those XA-180s that went down the road here, they were from dropping off these Stormers. And I'd got those Stormers there by kind of driving down this road and getting them unloaded in the backside of Chariton. And having made that happen, I decided that I might be able to do the same with the Lynx. So I'm bringing the Lynx in. I managed to kill off the infrared AA squads on this hill. And we also managed to kill off another leader that was trying to sneak forwards. And now I'm going to be trying to get this Lynx down to those Stormers by flying it through the valley. So by using the valley here, I can stop any line of sight from the mountain behind. That's really cool. My Hawks here absolutely whiff their missiles onto the MiG, unfortunately. And it gets out just before those ones hit, so that was really tough. I'm going to need another one of these HKPs. These are like really small resupply helicopters that the Swedish use. Artillery is now coming in. I've got some Panzerbills here though. These are going to be going round the edge to attack any of the units that are on the far side there. Managed to get the infantry unloaded here. And now they're going to be pushing in to basically uncap Charlie. Because at the moment, whilst we do hold Gulf, the opposing... The sector that's like opposed the most in this particular map is Charlie. And unfortunately, with like Sturmsource being like more or less the only one attacking Charlie for most of the game, he was kind of getting pushed out of there by Sathor and Musial for a lot of the time. So currently we are losing the +1, but that's okay. Panzerbills have to back off here because the T-55s come around the corner. Pachongsu are coming up, but I'm going to be engaging those with the SCRB 103Bs. Stern Pioneers trying to make ground on the Stormers. Gonna have to back those off. Another push coming over the ridge here. Big old bombing strike coming in from the Phantom. Gonna get some napalm. It will stop the infantry for the time being. The infantry will have to back off there. Napalm in forest isn't too bad, especially in this case where it kind of just like blocks the advance of the opposing unit. Also, if it does stun stuff inside the flames, they can burn to death pretty quickly. These AH-1E Cobras doing a fantastic job of taking out all these units that came over the top. Zhongsu taken out there. Unfortunately, I am losing Stormers down here to Liege 1 in the meantime. Somehow some Liege 1 managed to sneak down into a hotel, and that was causing me problems because I wanted to try and have some infantry come down here and then move up towards Charlie from this side. We managed to equal things out though temporarily with Jeff managing to get a leader, like a commander, into Charlie. I've also got my one in the corner there. So one nice thing about, again, having two is if they kill this one, we've still got this one. So as long as that remains hidden, we should be okay. I'm also, in the meantime, trying to sneak up this leader into the edge of Bravo and decap their +2, which will give us +2 on the leaderboard, which would be really nice. The Hawks, once again, doing work. Going to take down another MiG there, and another MiG after that, with the help of the VIG. I allow Itadek to use the HKP to get his helicopters online, because they've been really, really useful. We're going to have to move these Ihawks as soon as they come under fire there. I've, in the meantime, brought in more Fallschirmjäger, and fighting over the mountains here is, like, really quite difficult to get, like, decent line of sight to know what's coming. Like, I could maybe have something come over the top, but that still wouldn't really reveal anything coming down this road, because the line of sight from this hill is, like, blocked by that hill. So, unless maybe I came over here, but even there it's a little bit blocked. It's funny, I'm so used to having the line of sight tool in Steel Division that I do keep pressing C. You guys obviously can't see that, but I keep pressing C to like show you guys line of sight, but instead I have to like zoom in to show you guys the exact line of sight that units have. It is kind of cool though, it gives you a cinematic perspective. This napalm was a little unfortunate. The entire forest burning down did kind of make things a little bit awkward. My Marine Jäger here, they're just currently sitting on this hill, taking cover. I turned off all their weapons, so they just provide recon information on anything on the left side there, and it allows Itadek to go forwards and backwards with his helicopters and get some decent kills in. So that was going pretty well, and yep, did manage to get my leader in here, so that's giving us the +2. This was taken out in the bottom corner there, unfortunately. But as we can see, these helicopters flew over the top of my leader, like pretty much accidentally, and that gave them the information on where my leader was in Bravo, unfortunately. So I know that this is kind of like not long for this world as to like the location of it, but we're still making decent points in the meantime with the +2 income, or like the +2 conquest points there. This one is also going to get spotted, unfortunately. And that one actually I turned off the... I think I turned off the weapons on both of them. But yeah, that's going to get found. And it's also going to be able to unload the Liege 1. Liege 1 are just so much better than my leader unit, so yeah, that's going to go down, unfortunately. So not only am I going to lose this one, I'm also now going to lose this one. Just that annoying Z5 getting the better of us. Biggin going in for the kill onto the MiG-21. It's one of the missiles. Can he get another shot in there? Nope, not this time around. We're going to be evacuating that soon after. Very cool though. Yeah, this is gonna die. Stem source. Pointing that one out. I'm going to try and do a little bit of runner there. But unfortunately, they were not long for this world for sure. I thought that it might be funny to try and like run them off the side of the cliff. But they still had line of sight with the MI8, so that was unfortunately not going to work. And they both die. Oh dear. Anyway, so I've got these lynxes hanging out on the side here. These are just providing recon for the time being. Unfortunately, my hawks are still getting artied. I didn't actually end up moving them soon enough. So, still getting hit. Decided to bring in a couple more because we were being harassed by a lot of aircraft throughout the game once again. I managed to get my M8 Panzerbilt over the edge here. That's going to reveal a couple units. Just using these as like light recon to just discover what's on the other side, and that's going to then allow my SDRV 103Bs to come over. Bringing up a couple Veeks to help deal with helicopters. That Panzerbilt, whilst it does have decent rate of fire, when it gets panicked, the rate of fire goes down significantly. So that's just some SPW-50 PKs at the moment that are doing that. So I'm going to come over with the SDRVs and pop a few of these units. There is, of course, the Mi-25s though. We've got to be careful of those. My Veeks haven't quite made it here yet, so maybe a little bit preemptive with the SDRV push. But still able to take out quite a few units of Shilka there. Like the Shilka and the other armoured cars. The AH-1Es are trying to help me out with those. He managed to take down one for us, but the Shilka, if that can open up, that'll do a number on those Cobras. The Taideck doesn't let that happen. Now we've got a 2 versus 3. The Vulcan miniguns versus the Yak B weapon system on the Mi-25s. Let's just shoot down one. Gonna shoot down the other. Nicely done. That really helped save the day with the SDRVs. And I also managed to capture both of these T-813s, which are supply vehicles. They each have 1,750 supply in them, which is quite a significant amount more than my HKPs. So that was great. My Lynxes do get pushed off by the Liégeois and these helicopters, so we know that there's stuff coming towards the Gulf from that direction now. But I'm going to be trying to make a bit of a push here. Do manage to hit the Pongay. Pongay is like a anti-air, so I managed to take that out. But as we come down the hill, well, there's more helicopters. Unfortunately, more Mi-25s, and my Veeks aren't in position yet. So yeah, things aren't going to look too great. And I've got these like FMs coming in. These are the AA pieces with the twin autocannons, but these really aren't very accurate. They don't have very good range either, so that's why they're shooting the Mi-8 and not the Mi-25. And here come the Veeks. They're going to have to navigate the wrecks of this road. This is like the worst part about this after the start. Yeah, just trying to get those Veeks close enough that we can shoot those Mi-25s out the sky, and then I can continue to move forwards with the SDRV 103B. Thunderbolt coming in there, looking for the strafing run on to the Mi-2. It's going to get shot at by the infrared missiles though. Nice thing about the Thunderbolt, it does have armor, so it can actually tank infrared missiles quite well. Obviously don't want to keep it in the sky for too long. But yeah, the artillery comes down at pretty much the perfect moment here, straight onto the Veeks. I believe that was probably aimed at the LVKVs initially and ended up hitting my Veeks almost accidentally, which was really unfortunate because now it leaves the Veeks on really low health and panicked. So they're not going to do a great job at taking out the Mi-25s, and all the while that's allowing my opponent to bring in reinforcements. The AH-1E is going to move up there, try and take that out. The Mi-25 still pretty strong though, gotta be careful. Does manage to clean up. SDRV 103B now going to try and move up, but there is of course flames on the road, so that's going to make things harder again. And with the artillery continuously coming in onto this road now, you can see things aren't looking great here either. With the pile up of APCs and wheeled armoured units on the road there getting absolutely annihilated. My Viggen's hanging about, but if we're to win this, we're going to have to take back a sector. So, bringing in the command now. I've got an armoured car. This has a small 20 mil on it, but it's more just there to capture Bravo and hopefully hold on to this when I move up with the SDRV 103Bs. MiG-23 ML does come in with the missile to hit my Viggen. My Viggen does manage to tank the shot and then is going to go for the kill onto the MiG. The MiG's too busy trying to shoot down the helicopters there, so nice air engagement. Thunderbolt's still flying around at low altitude, trying to kill this Mi-2 but can't quite get line of sight onto it. My Viggen does get out of there. Now we got the J-35 coming in. It actually kills itself. I didn't even see that in the game actually when I was playing it. It killed itself by hitting the mountain. Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, splash damage from HE can kill aircraft. So we saw that happen there. The SDRV 103s now pushing over. Stormers following them up. Panzerbill moving in to bring in some recon. Veeks all the way up there. Got my leader on the way. I've got basically as much as I can that far up. And my Hawks can possibly move up as well to help out. But yeah, pretty much all of my units are forcing themselves onto Bravo right now. And I've really got to make this work. Seeing two full squads of Modschützen is not nice. Modschützen, they do have shock training, so that's unfortunate. My Stormers are also shock trained, but since they are in the dense cover, I'm taking more damage. The AH-1F Cobra's really got to help us out here. I was moving over these vehicles to try and help out, but yeah, the AH-1F gets shot down. This AH-1E's trying to do its best as well. Takes a lot of damage from the Modschützen. And those SPW-50PKs also taking damage there. The Strip BV trying to get into position in Bravo, but I've already lost a lot of stuff, and having tanks coming in from this direction behind where I'm moving over the command unit just is not good. It is not good at all. So yeah, this time around, I can tell you that I've been using these Cobras for like really well for so long, but now, unfortunately, he kind of like suicides them over the Modschützen and the APCs, which is unfortunate. Now Musiel's bringing in MA8KTs if my problems weren't bad enough, and my Veek is like gonna probably struggle to take that down because the rocket strike comes in. Oh, sorry, the cluster strike comes in from the MiG and ends up like panicking or killing off the rest of my armored vehicles here. Then the Mi-8KT panics the Veek, and now the Veek's in trouble. It's got T-62s behind it, so as soon as it starts to run away, The T-62s can clean that up if they want to. The SDRVs are actually in a good position to take on the T-62s. But these T-62s have like just enough AP power to be able to do damage to the SDRV. And I'm not able to like kill a T-62 with each shot. But as long as the SDRV just like maintains its morale, then it should be okay to just keep popping them. Because it does have that decent rate of fire. Yeah, I'm pushed off Bravo again. And we're not going to be able to get that kill. Or get that at that point, sorry. Now the armored car going to go and try and get into Charlie. I've really got to try and make this work. Sturmey's giving my Stormers a hard time. I wish Stugs were this good in Steel Division 2. I say as it blows up in my face. But yeah, that's exactly the same Sturmey as the Finnish get in Steel Division 2. SDRV 103B can take on ZTZ-80s. But ZTZ-80s are a little bit better than those 62s, so got to be careful with that engagement, can't force it. iHawk's currently sitting up on these hills, should help us be covered against enemy aircraft from now on, but I'm going to have to basically fully reinforce myself from scratch. And so I'm bringing in two sets of two squads of the HGM infantry that I have, and a new couple tanks. This tank was just getting fixed up by the supply, but I kind of ran out of supply there, so I couldn't get that fully healed. The SDRV does end up moving forwards, gets firing computer reset. I tell you what, that firing computer reset, I get it way too often. And my poor SDRV gonna go down. Those SDRVs are pretty cool looking tanks, like very, very low to the ground there. Nighthawk coming in. Don't see a Nighthawk very often. Stormers currently coming down here to try and clean up these Sturmies. But my leader has already been killed, like my commander already got taken out. Still going to try and take out the rest of these Sturmies, but with the infantry coming in to reinforce, those Stormers are still going to die. And so Charlie will remain in the hands of Musial. So yeah, I'm kind of in a really tough spot. I've, at this point, kind of ran out of Veeks. And I've got these ones over here, but these are kind of necessary to stop us being flanked from helicopters from Charlie. I've kind of run out of decent AA otherwise to deal with helicopters, so I'm very reliant on Itaidex Cobras to shoot them down, but the Mi-8 KTs are really good at shooting down enemy helicopters because they have the 23mm, and this 23mm that they have is just like super strong. It can rip through armored vehicles as well. So now I've got the helicopter up here, should help me with a bit better recon. MiG-21 going to be coming in though. These come in with the cluster bombs there. That one's going to get shot down. Actually, that was napalm, sorry. MiG-23BN comes in with the cluster. That's going to actually hit my SDRVs. Well, these two... sorry, I thought that was SDRVs. Those were my infantry squads directly. It also did a lot of damage to my CV. So, yeah. Every time I'm trying to make a push now, it's just getting countered. Another SDRV gets popped there by the tanks at close range, and it's just turned into like the absolute valley of death. Like just starting here, it just turned into the valley of death. Just look at this, it's just so crazy. All the tanks like having to navigate it every time. And then all the way down. Just didn't end. Like even all the way down here as well. I'm also trying to like sneak up these RBS 56 squads. These RBS 56 squads are the HGMs I was talking about at the start, where you have 26 AP power, but the range is really short. So the bad thing about that is they can be shot at the same range as heavy tanks or any tank that has 2,275 meter range. They match the range. So as soon as they fire, they get fired back at. The only benefit you have with these HGM squads is they're not 2-man squads like a lot of them are. They actually have 5 men, so they can kind of survive direct engagements with tanks, for instance. So that is helpful, but even so. SK-60B comes over, trying to drop or get the missiles to land on this ridge. But unfortunately that one went flying off into the distance. The MITB trying to shoot that down with these dual auto cannon AA. Do manage to take down one, and then I've got to deal with all these T-55s on the ridge. Got the RBSs opposite to try and help cover the STRV 103Bs. Do want to take out this T-72. T-72s can do quite a lot of damage, but as we can see, has now gone to a +3, 70% in favour of our opponents. They did manage to decap Foxtrot, so that was unfortunate. The napalm is going to push that off for the time being, but there's a lot of pressure coming in there on the right-hand side against our team, and my RBS just like continues to fail me in hitting this T-72. Every shot just kept going right over the top. T-Hawk comes in, even that misses. Again, it was just ridiculous. This thing had like some sort of ability to counteract missiles, like some active defense or some shit, and of course a weapon jam. So the STRV there is useless as the other one dies. Unfortunate. Stone Pioneers do get taken out. Do manage to take out one of those squads. But yes, my RBS 56 squads are doing pretty well on the left-hand side there. They're getting quite far up to counter any future reinforcements, but the other STRV 103B goes down. Of course, it wasn't really supported by any infantry or any AA or anything like that, so it's to be expected that I'm going to lose them, but at this point, we got to do something, since we're getting close to losing the game. There is only like 4 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock, but with them decapping Foxtrot, they're almost at the point cap anyway. Here we go, RBS 56s. These can do a number on T-72s, that's for sure. So managed to take out one. These do have full HE power, so yeah, that's going to get popped. The T-72 I was talking about, the Mi-8KT makes that difficult regardless. And you can see there the 23mm just rips through those two AA units. Those KTs are really, really tough to deal with. They just aim so fast and they have like crazy rate of fire. So they just do a lot of damage very quickly, and that's what allows them to get those kills. And so yeah, I'm just kind of stuck. I've got some Leopard 1A3s coming in. At least these look cool. But unfortunately, yeah, only a matter of time until our opponents win the day. Over to the Valley of Death they go. Awesome stuff. This was a really, really fun game. You see I bring in the Fighting Falcon there again for another bombing strike. Gonna bring in a Fighting Falcon here to try and go for a bombing strike, but doesn't manage to get it off. Viggen's gonna go for the Su-27, like an absolute champion. Might as well try at the end of the game here. Eagle's gonna come in and engage the MiG-21. A cool engagement for sure. There we have it. GG to our opponents. They managed to break us down in the center and hold us back on the left-hand side. And yeah, job done. Very, very nice. 36 minutes, 59 seconds. Congratulations to them. Now, I did manage to get a positive KD again for 3,537 kills to 3,155 losses, but I think a lot of that came down to me shooting aircraft. My Viggen did alright killing the Su-22 M4P early on. My Ihawk did alright as well. Check out this SDRV 103B though. I got a lot of kills onto like all of that stuff that was rushing us towards the start. The T72s, the T3485s. This SDRV 103 did a good job as well, just kept keeping up with that. But then the Fighting Falcon came in with that bombing strike, and that annihilated pretty much all of the infantry that came with that, as well as a lot of those T3485s. That was a super important bombing strike there, otherwise I probably would have got overwhelmed. Falchamig also helping out. The Stormers did alright, pushing into the center objective. I was trying to put a little bit of pressure on there because I know that Stem Source was struggling in the middle a bit, but yeah, that was a tough one. Just couldn't quite hold on to the points, and whilst our team did have a positive KD overall, it was not enough to win this one. But that's not really the point, is it, of these games? I honestly have just been having a ton of fun messing around with like different decks and so on, and in this case the Scandinavian 1985 deck. We got to mess around with that one. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.